Hi there, Sherry Schreiber of GettingBetter.com, and I hope you're having as good a Sunday as I am. I got wired up and inspired today. I was talking to a dear friend, somebody I've cultivated a friendship with. We actually met over the internet. His name is Steve Kinsella. He's a therapist, and we got on this topic of the very real fact that women don't understand men. They really have no clue about who men are and what men need. So I want to say a little bit about that today, and maybe this will become an ongoing series because I've got lots to say about this stuff, and maybe it won't. But you ladies, the biggest problem that women have is they expect men to be like them, and they're not. They're yes, they're human beings, but they're very, very different creatures. And they have different priorities than we do as females. Now, this video is really for heterosexual women. I'm sorry, I don't mean to leave anybody out. I'm not wanting to be discriminatory, but you heterosexual gals have got to start learning some things about men so that you can be more successful in your relationships. And one of the things you have to understand is that men, by and large, are constellated around their penis. I mean, that's really where their center of gravity is. That's the most important thing to them from the time they're very, very young and they first discover that little organ between their legs. And women aren't like this. Women don't understand this. Women want guys to basically relate to them like they have vaginas. And a guy doesn't have a vagina, at least for the most part. Heterosexual men who are interested in women don't have vaginas, and they can't relate with you and be for you and interact with you in exactly the same way your girlfriends do. That's why God invented girlfriends, okay? Don't expect your man to be your girlfriend. We have auxiliary relationships for that kind of thing. Okay. So if you can stop expecting men to be like you and understand you completely and be able to intuit your needs, your feelings, your priorities, you got another thing coming, ladies. I hate to tell you this. I know you don't want to hear this, but you got another thing coming. Because while a man is constellated around his penis, that's just the most important thing in the world to him, is that organ hanging between his legs. Women are constellated around their hearts. We're all about love and romance and flowers and candles and music and all that other shit that we drive men crazy with at times like Valentine's Day and stuff like that. I mean, they go along to get along, but they're really not into it. They're not. Most of the time, they're really not into it. So you can just find a way to accept this and understand that the women who hold on to men, the women that men get obsessed about and can't seem to let go of and crave all the time, are the women that prioritize the penis. They worship at the cock. And I'm thinking a lot of you at home are going, oh, This is true. I'm giving you the God's honest truth. Now, I was during my dating career, I was a very sexual woman. I was probably the anomaly. I had a sex drive like a man when I was younger. And I didn't care about the frills and the foreplay and all the stuff. It's just like, let's get down and dirty fast and hang with me a good long while you're in there. But most women aren't like this. So if you're a woman who doesn't really love sex, okay, this probably isn't for you. And you probably won't start thinking about men along these lines. And you may or may not be successful with men in terms of maintaining an enduring, long-term, exciting, passionate relationship with one. But you've got to be willing, no matter who you are, as a heterosexual female, to prioritize the penis. You just do. He prioritizes it. He loves his penis. He needs you to love it too. He needs you to be excited about it. He needs you to want to just play with it, stroke it, tease it, touch it lovingly. He doesn't much care whether you fuck him or not, as long as you're worshiping at the cock. As long as you appreciate that organ that he prizes so highly. Now, I'm sure there will be some of you, both male and female, who will write me and want to rip me a new one. And say, how can you say these things? They're so untrue for me. Oh, I'm not like that at all. But ladies, I'm just giving you a window into understanding the guy you're sleeping beside. If you're not getting enough attention, affection, devotion from that man, it's because you're not prioritizing the penis. Now, if you don't happen to like penises, if they're not beautiful and intriguing to you, you're probably not going to utilize this information. You just won't. But I'm just trying to let you in on what men need. And if men didn't need this stuff, they wouldn't be hanging out in strip clubs and titty bars. Okay? They want to be with a woman who's not only comfortable with her body in whatever shape that's in, really, whatever shape that's in. I'm going to tell you about a couple of movies here in a minute that exemplify this point. If a man isn't with a woman who feels at ease and comfortable in her body, she's not going to feel comfortable with her sexuality. She's just not. She's not going to be having a good time in bed. She's going to be self-conscious. And that self-consciousness about whatever parts that she deems unfavorable about her physical self are going to be transmitted on a vibrational level to the guy. And nobody wants to be with that. That's not exciting to a man. What's exciting to a man is a woman who's comfortable in her own skin, who's comfortable with her sexuality, who's comfortable loving sex and not having judgments about that, and that might take away from her being a good girl. But you can love a man till kingdom come. You can care for him. You can understand him. You can have intellectual conversations with him. You can wait on him hand and foot. But if you're not prioritizing the penis, you're not going to have a happy man on your hands. And you're not going to get the love you need from that guy. Now, back to the movies, okay? There are two movies. If you have poor body image as a female, There's a couple of movies you really got to see, and they're old ones. I mean, they're like, I don't know the years these were made or that they were released, but they're terrific films for women who have poor self-worth, poor body image. You know, you're always looking in the mirror and cursing the parts of you that you think aren't perfect or that are a little fatter than you think they should be. One of these films is Too Beautiful for You. Look it up on the internet. Too Beautiful for You. Stars Gerard Depardieu. It's a fantastic little movie. And he's married to this gorgeous girl. I mean, she's just like magnificently beautiful. But kind of a nice queen. And this gal comes and is working for him. I think it's been many years since I saw this movie. I think she's working with him from a temp agency to help him out in his business or at his office. And she's plump, and she's not by any stretch of the commercial imagination, perhaps, considered beautiful. But she's at ease with herself. She's comfortable with herself. She likes sex. And she's comfortable in her body. And they end up having an affair. Okay, sorry for the spoiler. And he doesn't understand why. You know, he's got this magnificently beautiful wife at home, but he doesn't want to fuck her. And this is the woman who unlocks his heart and his passion. This little temp girl who's come to work for him. Another movie, the other one that I want to recommend to you, is Bagdad Cafe. And this is with CCH Pounder. This was made years and years ago. And fabulous movie. And there's a woman in it who's quite rotund. And yet here again, we see a woman who's at ease with herself, accepts herself fully, is comfortable in her skin, is not self-conscious of her body. And we fall in love with these women in the course of these movies. We just fall in love with, you can't help but fall in love with them because of the energy and the exuberance that they're emitting. And this is what turns a man on. I did a video probably a couple years ago now that's on here if you search through my files, and it's called, don't ever point out what you think are your physical flaws to a man you're getting into bed with. Don't ever do this, because if you don't point it out, he's not going to see them. Women don't understand men, and they certainly don't understand men's sexuality. Now, borderlines understand men's sexuality. They do. Borderline knows all about the cock. Okay? She knows all about a man's sexuality and how to hook him in and tantalize him and tempt him and get him obsessing about her. Borderlines, it's like breathing to them. They do this by nature, It comes naturally to them. Unfortunately, they have no clue about what men need emotionally. They have no clue whatsoever about the emotional construct of a man. But boy, do they know the penis. They know exactly how to speak to the penis on a man. And this is why guys are falling all over themselves, trying to stay in these relationships, trying to get in these relationships. They're brokenhearted. They call me sobbing during my working career, trying to help people recover from these relationships, because they feel so much shame that they've been rejected by one of these creatures. And they're not always beautiful. Borderlines are not always exquisite, beautiful creatures. I mean, I've worked with men who said, my friends are going, what do you see in her? But it's something about that woman that she transmits a certain confidence, a certain um, level of comfort in her body and with her sexuality that's got him wrapped around her little finger. Okay. So I am dropping this in today, ladies, for your consideration. Um, Hanging around your guy friends. Be one of the guys. You know, I learned a lot from just spending a lot of time as a younger woman in what I fondly refer to as the enemy camp. In other words, I had a lot of male friends. And when I was dating a guy, I hung around with him and his male friends. And I just listened. I just absorbed all that they had to say about women, about dating, about commitment, about marriage, about sex. I mean, I just gained a liberal education about guys because, frankly, I saw my girlfriends walking around with broken hearts and mashed egos, and I never wanted that to be me. I didn't ever want to be at the effect of a man who decimated me during my dating career. So I learned as much as I could about men, as much as I absorbed everything, their attitudes, their views, their perspectives on sex, marriage, love, commitment, all that stuff, relationship. I just drank it all in. And you'd be wise to do this too. You really would. Don't expect men to be like you, my dears. They can't be. They're not wired that way. Okay? The other thing is you guys, okay, you can go to all these seminars, you can pay money to learn how to pick up women and all this other shit and how to seduce women. It's not about that. Because women are heart-centered, remember? Women are heart-centered. So you'd be very wise to start reading Cosmopolitan magazine. Really. That's what you got to do. Women, pick up a Playboy magazine, pick up Hustler, see what men value, what they find intrinsically important to them, and then start to work at being a little more that. I'm not saying you have to be whorish. I'm not saying you have to be a stripper. I'm saying you have to educate yourself about what is vitally important to a male and not condemn him for it. Okay? Accept it, embrace it, not condemn him for being male. And you guys, learn about women. Read Cosmo magazine, magazines like that are wired toward women, that are geared toward women, that'll give you the inside track on how women think and feel and what they need from a relationship. This is going to be far more beneficial to you than signing up for therapy with somebody or taking any kind of course. Okay? Pay attention. Learn. Listen to your female girlfriends. If you hang out with women a lot, listen to them. Ask them their opinions about sex and love and dating and everything under the sun. Listen, learn about that creature because it's very different from you. Women do not think like men. Men do not think like women. And this is one of the greatest ills. It presents one of the greatest obstacles to people having harmonious relationships in any society all over the globe. Okay. So I hope this is something that you can treat as a learning experience. I'm hoping this opens up your mind a little, especially you ladies. Don't expect a guy to be like a girl, And if he did become that for you, you wouldn't want to fuck him. Be like climbing into bed with a gal pal. You wouldn't want to fuck him. Okay, embrace that and love that masculine essence. Okay? Really learn to love the differences in him that make him sexy and appealing and kind of alluringly macho to you. Learn to embrace that and prioritize the penis. I promise you. There are still men that I know who I haven't had any contact with in probably close to 2 decades that have said to me, I still fantasize about you, Schreiber. I still think you're the sexiest woman I've ever been with. Why is this? What? I could call somebody up within 30, 40 minutes. They'd be on my doorstep if I wanted to engage sexually with them. I don't. At this time in my life, it's just not a priority. But what set me apart from these other women, from my girlfriends who kept getting their hearts broken? I loved sex and I loved penises. Okay? In fact, I'm quite certain I've owned one in a number of prior lifetimes. You might say I had a healthy sense of penis envy in this lifetime. So if it's not for you, that's okay. If you're a heterosexual female and this isn't for you, that's okay. You know, maybe you need an entirely different kind of person to be involved with. But I think it's going to speak to a lot of you ladies out there. I'm just giving you the bottom line, honest to God truth. And I hope you can integrate some of this. Think about it. Maybe it'll be food for thought for you for a while. And it'll help you understand why your relationships haven't worked out so well. Okay? And bye for now.